Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Sangha Show, a space for those who are devoted to the awakening of humanity. We'll explore what it means to live a spiritually guided, purpose-driven life that's rooted in harmony with the planet. Through soulful conversations, transformational teachings, and stories from conscious creators, we'll dive into what it really looks like to live from embodied truth, to serve from your heart, and to reimagine a world full of wonder, beauty, and awe. If you're here to leave a legacy of abundance on earth, you're in the right place. So before we begin, let's take a moment to arrive together. Gently close your eyes. Inhale deeply through the nose and exhale slowly through the mouth, letting go of anything that you're carrying from the day, allowing your body to soften and receive the wisdom that's about to be shared. Feel yourself come home to the present moment, and let's begin. Was letting go of my house and selling all my belongings divine guidance or self-sabotage? This is a question I've been exploring, and I want to take you on the journey with me. I remember ending my journey in Egypt last year and giving myself this big pep talk to come back and root even deeper into Utah because of all my friends there, my community, the financial security, and also how much I had poured into my house and my life there. I had spent so much time dedicated to creating a healing space and a retreat space, and it was honestly just a space that I loved with the bottom of my heart. It was like I don't know, it really touched me in a deep way to be able to provide that space for others. And it was just the thought of letting it go was terrifying. But when I got back home to Utah, it just didn't feel right. And I was meditating, and I remember Spirit saying, just let go. Just it's bringing tears to my eyes, just let go of your house. That's the next step. And the path will unfold. Each next step will unfold as it needs to. And for me, it was really scary because even though I've been playing with testing and confirming my intuition for years, years, and calibrating and knowing when my intuition is on and when my intuition is off, Spirit has never asked me, well, not never. There have been very few times where Spirit has asked me to take big leaps where I can't see the destination. When I was early on in listening and calibrating my intuition or my manifestation, wasn't like I used it as a life strategy or a business strategy. I would try with these little things and then see what came back. And then I'd put some stuff out there and then I would see what came back. And so I've been in this constant dance, but to make these really big leaps definitely is stretching my emotional capacity, my energetic capacity, and even my capacity to stay out of fear and in the river of my desires and in the river of my own manifestation energy. Of course, I've been excited to move and to travel and to see the world and to, it honestly, the biggest part was just that I keep feeling this soul pull, and I couldn't feel even exactly what it was, but I've had this before in my being where part of me is going this way and the other part, my soul, is just feeling pulled this way, like really, really hard. And I just kept feeling it. And over the years, it would grow and grow and grow. And so, of course, I've been living in excitement. I've been living in this longing. I've been living in this desire because I know what that soul pull means for me. I know how much beauty is on the other side. And I just created a life that I already love. I created community and friendships and relationships and a home and like all kinds of things that I wasn't wanting to like escape or leave behind or sabotage. And so when taking this leap, I just have such a healthy respect, a reverence for the life that I've already built. So it brought up all these questions like, what if I'm just sabotaging myself and my progress and my consistency and all the success and everything that I've built? Or what if I move out of my house and everyone around me forgets about me? Um, it was just a huge fear, all my loved ones forgetting about me and my friends, my community. And honestly, I had to wrestle again with my identity. And I've done this many times of letting go of parts of my identity, parts of myself that I've put in external things. And I had a lot of my identity as a space holder wrapped up in my house and my healing rooms and my belongings and my gathering space. And so there was a lot of questioning, who am I as a healer and a space holder if I don't have this rooted, anchored extension of myself to show everything that I've accomplished? I derived a lot of confidence and a lot of value out of having the house up in the mountains with space for retreats and healing, just gorgeous healing spaces and captivating energy. And so, what would people think now if I didn't have my home? What would I think if I didn't have my home? Would I still feel as accomplished or as successful if I didn't have this space that was a materialized extension of myself? When we enter the unknown, our capacity to hold space for possibility really comes to the forefront. And for me, it was both the excitement of the unknown, the adventure, and also the fear, just really sitting with all of the layers of myself, of fear. And when our fears come up, we tend to focus on the fear. We get hyper fixated on the fear and we constrict and we go into this place of prevention and contraction and protection. And instead of staying connected with the river of our desires, and instead of, acknowledging the fear, leaning into it, listening to it, learning from it, and then moving through it almost like a dam in a river, right? But then breaking through that fear that dams up, it keeps all that energy bubbling inside of us or bubbling under the surface, just allowing it to break free and allowing us to flow back into the river of our desires, the current of life that wants to flow through us. When we don't do that, we get so focused on the fear. And then the more we go into protection, the more we go into prevention, preventing our fears from happening, protecting us from our fears from happening, we really go back into an energy of scarcity and fear and lack. And that's when things can start to spiral. So then once I get out of the fear and the protection and the prevention place in me, the constriction, the walls, then I know what to ask the universe for. When I flip into my desires, then I know what to manifest. And for those of you that don't feel comfortable asking for help, you're not going to be able to get the universe to conspire on your behalf because you are blocking support and you won't be able to ask for it. And the universe is a universe of free will. So it will help you, but it needs the ask. It wants you to participate at your own free will. And so, do you feel comfortable asking the universe for love and support? And Spirit was right on this journey, I have learned things about myself and my path that I could have never learned by being at home in my house in Utah. There are people and places and experiences that have just unlocked unspeakable parts of my soul that there are no words for, and put pieces together that I've been searching for years. And this soul quest. So I'm curious, the soul doesn't create in linear fashion. It doesn't take one step and then another step and then another step. And a lot of times that is what our linear mind looks for. That is what our linear mind is fixated on. And that's what tells us we're constantly progressing and taking one step in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. And I am really curious, like if your soul asks you to step to the side or to step backwards or to jump off of a cliff or to, traverse some unknown territory, how well have you been practicing and calibrating listening to your intuition? And are you prepared to take the leap? And then are you in a place where you can actually hold with reverence the things that are still meaningful to you about what is happening in your current reality so that you don't have to sacrifice the things that you love most? You can bring all of the things that you love into this new reality, into these future possibilities, because you guys have no idea like what is possible when you let go of the how and you just really hone in on your desires and you stay true to that and you've cleared your field. I think people always make the joke. They're like, how do you manifest everything you want? Like life always brings what you want. And my constant response is because I'm in a continual clearing process of my field. I don't have any ego. Like if I just need to do a healing process or a session, I'm not like, oh, I'm at this level in my growth and I shouldn't have to do that anymore. It's like, no, I just clear my field out. I just lean in. And when I'm in the continual flow of my desires and my processes and my field is clear, everything comes in. And that was another one of my fears is like, how am I going to work with people when I'm traveling? How am I going to stay? I had people that would fly in and come work with me from all over the country, and not having that home base was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? And right and left, I've had people just from all over the world calling and wanting to work remote with me, wanting to be able to participate together in those ways. And it was just something that I could have never expected. Um, and just as I allowed things to unfold, I just kept asking and sharing with the universe, like, this would really support me right now. This would really honor the stage that I'm in this chapter. And wow, like, wow. I mean, there have been visions that I've had for Sangha for 7 years that are now just fully taking shape because of some of the places and people that I have spoken to that I would have never talked to, that like huge puzzle pieces of this journey. And so I'm just like beyond my wildest dreams. We've had this ongoing conversation. If you weren't a part of it, a big ask that I had from myself and all my communities at the beginning of the year was, universe, just show me how good it can get. And I kind of said that like gripping almost. I noticed when I was really in my prayer or my meditation space, I was almost like bracing. And I think it's because my fear of letting go of all the things that I loved. I was like, knowing that things had to change, and change is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. It's just a part of our experience that we have to get into the flow of, and we have to learn and navigate and figure out. But wow, at the beginning of last year, coming back home to Utah, what I thought I was walking into for the year and now where I'm ending up at the end of this year is just mind blowing. Like, I could not have predicted where I would be, how all of the puzzle pieces to this bigger vision that I've been working on that I thought was maybe like 5 years out, which is now, it's in my very near future. And when you listen to those nudges, that's when you hop timelines. That's when you really leap into the future that you're wanting to create, is just being fully present with what's needed in the now moment. And so, yeah, there's some other things that I want to get into, but I'll probably do it in a different share about intuition and um, really staying deeply connected with ourselves and our inner compass and our inner voice, because the world is getting louder and louder right now. And there's more stuff happening. There's more distortions. There's more fear. There's more chaos in the field. And so, really staying in a clear resonance with yourself intuitively. I am going to do a separate post on that. I think it's so important now more than ever for us to, as we step into our creations, as we step into our projects, as we step into this external world, that we don't lose all of the wisdom that we've gained from the last chapter that was about going within. And we stay really deeply connected. So I'm excited to share more about that. And I will see you guys soon.
Thank you for sharing this moment with me on the show. I'm hoping that something you heard today will root deeper into your heart and ripple out into your life in ways you can't even imagine. If this episode moved you, inspired you, or brought you closer to your truth, I'd love for you to share it with someone you know, or leave a review to help this work reach more souls who are ready to awaken. And before we go about the rest of our day, let's take one last breath together. Inhale deeply into your heart. And exhale to send gratitude out to your entire body. Until next time, may you walk gently, live boldly, and trust in the wisdom of your heart.